This video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 pillars of a 100K a month creator business. This is part 1. And so what I'm going to be doing is walking you through a demonstration of how we did 10 million in coaching sales with our company, reverseselling.com. It's a real estate coaching company. And I'm going to walk you through how I plan to build a 7-figure creator business this year, following a modified version of what we did with reverseselling.com. All right. And so just for proof, here's some screenshots of our stuff. So this is our Stripe dashboard, over 10 million in sales over the last, was that 2019? So 4 years, probably more with PayPal and Wire and stuff like that. We've built a 68,000 person email list. We've booked 14,876 sales calls, probably closer to 15,000 now. We launched a membership. It got it to about a month and a half, 50,000 MRR with that membership, which we soon after sunsetted because we wanted to launch the membership so we had recurring revenue, which we kind of ended up building that into the coaching offer. So we restructured the coaching offer. So we had high ticket plus recurring built into that one offer. So we sunsetted that that offer with the membership. And then, Facebook group of 8,000 people. I think, it's 100,000 subs on YouTube, 70 something people on Instagram, right? So that's just the proof to kind of show you what we've built. And in this video, I'm going to kind of walk you through the 4 pillars of how we've done that. And so in this video, in part 1, we're going to cover the first 2 pillars. And then in future videos, we'll cover the final 2 pillars. And then we're going to go deep within these. So I'm going to broad brush it to kind of walk you through the structure, the framework, so you can start to kind of put some of this together for yourself. And then in future videos, we're going to go deep on each of these, right? So just diving into this, let me walk you through what each of these mean, and then we'll go into each of them. So the first one is MA, which stands for marketing activities. All right. So we've got marketing activities. Number 2, SA is sales activities. 3, delivery activities. 4, automation activities. All right. So let's start with marketing activities and kind of show you what we did to do 200,000 to 300,000 a month in sales currently in that business. And so the driver really in that business is daily content. And kind of where we focused on in that business is YouTube. So Brandon, my partner in that company, he does YouTube videos every day, sometimes 2 to 3 a day. For the last 4 years. I mean, it's a lot, he's a workhorse. He works really hard in doing that. And so I'm going to kind of break down where those videos come from. So if you're wanting to start creating content, you can, just use this as some examples of how he was able to do that every single day. Now, a couple of the pillars, the first one was talking head. So, a lot of our clients came to us from, him giving a script on overcoming a certain objection. So he'd sit down and say, all right, in this video, we're going to walk you through the number 1 objection you're going to face on the phone when talking to for sale by owners. And we're going to learn how to overcome that. And he would just give them the script, 8 to 12 minute video showing them through that. Right. So that'd be kind of like a talking head video. A second kind would be a client interview, right? So a client interview. So we take one of our top clients, we had a 22-year-old kid who made $1 million his second year in the real estate business. And so we interviewed him. Dude, how'd you do that? Where were you before we started? How did we help you? Where are you at now? Right? What advice do you have for people that are in a similar position when you started? So there's really being able to kind of interview your clients and your success stories. Another one that we did that really helped streamline a lot of the content was a podcast. So we take the team, so Brandon, myself, a couple other guys on the team, at 1 to 3 times a week, and we do a podcast. So we would talk about things that are going on in the industry, things that we're seeing behind the scenes that our clients are facing and struggling with, and then just talking about those, things. Here's a ninja hack. Think about some of the objections you're getting on sales calls and the things that are holding people back from moving forward with you, or some mindset stuff, and address those in your content. And so you can just talk about, I was on a call the other day with this gentleman, and here's kind of the scenario he's faced. Here's kind of what I walked him through to help him get past that, and just talk about those experiences. So that was the main engine, is daily content on YouTube. And we'll talk about some of these other pillars, but what did we do with that content? So 2 things. In nearly every single video, we had a call to action to book a call, right? So at the beginning of the video, he'd do the intro, open it up, and you can, Brandon Mulrennan is his name on YouTube. Our company is reverseselling.com. You can go watch his channel and see kind of how he structures his videos, but he'd have a call to action in every single video, right? So before we get into it, guys, as always, if you're looking for some help with this, you want to see behind the scenes of what we can do to help you grow your real estate business every single day. Book a call below. Get on the calendar with me and my team, right? Super simple. Call to action to book a call in every single video towards the front of the video so people see that, right? And then from there, though, this sucker right here, this is a big key to our success, is having a hot lead magnet. Now, what do I mean by that? So if you're a coach, you're a consultant, you help somebody solve a problem. I don't care how you do it. If you do it for them, if they go through your course, if you coach them through it, right? There's different modalities of doing it. But at the end of the day, you take someone from where they are to where they want to go. In an ideal world, not even an ideal world, in any world, you have a process for doing that, right? Hopefully you don't wing it with every single one of your clients and say, oh, let's try to see, like, you get an idea where they are, where are the roadblocks, help them work through, build this system, do that action, take this step, and you take them through a process. And if you haven't taken the time to map that out yet, I highly suggest you do. Think about all the things your clients need to do to get from point A to point B and systemize it, right? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Cool. Here's the 3 steps in phase 1 that my clients need to do. And then here's the actions they need to take to do those steps, and just really productize and systemize your product or service. And once you have that, you'll be able to pick out and understand where in my client's mind, before they come to me, what is the problem they think they have? Like, a lot of the times we know the problem your client thinks they have, that they're assuming they have, isn't the real problem, but it's what they want. It's what they're going to pay attention to. And so we need to get that to them so we can educate them on, say, hey, I know you were looking for this, but really this is one part in a 9-part process we take our clients through to get from where they are to this type of result. And so when I say a hot lead magnet, you need to think to yourself, what is that thing that my clients, if they saw, oh, if I just had this, it's all going to be better, right? If I just had the perfect lead magnet, this is all going to be better. If I had the perfect sales script, I'm going to overcome every objection. All of my problems are going to be solved. What part of that process is that for you and your clients? For us, it is a script book. So, real estate agents, are always looking for, the right words to say, how to overcome objections, how to set more appointments with clients. And so that is the number one thing they wanted. And so we developed that script book through the ugliest, most simple landing page that you're ever going to see in your life. And it had over a 70% opt-in rate. And I think we've generated like 16,000 leads from that script book alone, right? And just by having it in the description of our channel, we never really pointed out, hey, download my script book below. Every now and again, probably once or twice a week, he'll mention that in the video. As always, if you guys need a coach, book a call. If you want our scripts, they're in the link in the description below. But the far majority of our videos, we don't talk about that. It's just in the description. And so they get that script book, and there's a certain way, all right? There's a certain way you need to structure that. You don't just give them the script book and then, cool, good luck, just leave them with it. Right? That very next page after they download the script book is absolutely critical for you to be able to book more calls or generate more, sales activities, which we're going to get into in a second. And so there's a specific way you structure that page. You send them the script book, you're going to deliver on it, but there's a video, a very special type of video that we put together on that page with a call to action, educating them on how that's one part of the process. Okay. And helping them see the whole picture. They're right here and they're in this little box, and they're trying to get out of they're stuck, but they can't see the whole map. And so we need to help them zoom out and see how this is one little part. And it's in the middle of your process. It's not even the first part. It's not the last part. It's one little part. So you need to be able to walk them through that in a very simple video, providing them that value and that insight as to how this is going to help them. All right. So from there, you have a nurture sequence for those of the people who go to that page that don't book a call or reach out to you after getting that lead magnet. We're going to follow up with them. And I'm going to get into that in a second here with a nurture sequence, just providing them value, getting them to book a call with, 20 to 30 emails over the next, few weeks or months to be able to get them on the call. All right. So that leads us to the email list, which again, this is how we've filled up our email list, is through that. Again, having that nurture sequence to deliver the lead magnet is key. So that way, I'm getting emails from you every day, every couple of days with call to actions to book in and chat with you or your team or send you a DM, which we'll get into in a second. So that's the first part of the email list, is that nurture sequence. The second part are email broadcasts. So what we would do is we would send out a weekly email and kind of shifting gears here and modifying to how I'm making this different in my business. I'm going to be sending out daily-ish emails. So pretty much an email every day or every couple of days. And so what we would do in reverseline.com, though, we would promote one of our hotter videos of the week. So if we had a video that popped off that had 10,000 views the first couple days that people were really loving, we would send that to our list with a call to action, right? Hey, if you want help with this, here's a link to book a call with me and my team. And then from there, every now and again, we would just have a straight up, every probably once or twice a month, we would do just a call to action email, right? So, hey, it's as an example, hey, it's the end of the year. I'm sure you're sitting down planning your business like everyone else, watching hundreds of YouTube videos, trying to piece together a plan for yourself. If you want to get walking through a system that's going to share with you step by step exactly what you need to do to reach your goals next year without, all the things they don't want, right? Without spending lots of money on ads, without working nights, without working weekends, then book a call with my team so we can give you the plan that we have laid out and you don't have to figure it out on your own, right? So like a call to action email that gets them to book in a call with you and your team. And then there's the super signature, right? This is on every email as kind of like a PS. Whenever you're ready, here's 4 ways we can help you. So, link them to a lead magnet, join my free group, click here to book a call with my team, and then maybe some other free, hey, here's our free training, free whatever, right? So just 3, 4, 5 different ways that you can help them that lives in every single email, just so that it's easy for them to find too. A lot of times people, they'll go back and look through emails. He sent that email, I forgot to click and watch the video, and they'll go and see that signature. And so that lives right there. And so from there, another place is going to be a Facebook group, free group, whether, school's a big thing now. A lot of people are using, you can get a school group going or just a free Facebook group. And I'm going to have a whole video on how we use our Facebook group. But essentially, the first thing is actually that you want in here that I forgot to write down are, qualifiers, right? Qualifying questions. So essentially when people, join your group, what's your email, right? Qualifying question. So like, what do you hope to get out of this group, right? Or what are you struggling with in your real estate business or whatever? And then do you want me to reach out to you to see how, right? Whatever we may be to help, right? Offer them some type of value. Hey, do you want me to reach out to see if we can help? Do you want a free audit of your sales process to see if our system can help you get to your goals faster? Some type of call to action that's going to sift and sort through people who are just kind of lurking, getting to know you, and people who are like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've been following you forever, but I haven't, had the time or just haven't gotten to the point where I'm ready to book a call, but this could be the nudge that gets them in. So you kind of want that hand raiser post in your questions as they're getting into the group. And then in terms of content, what you can do, you can repurpose some of your YouTube videos in there if you wanted. So you can just upload those right into there. You can do lives in there. So kind of just go over some of your content that you would cover with your clients and go over one part of it. So again, if you have your product roadmap, you have, 3 phases, you have some steps in each of those phases. Let's say you have 9, parts of your product roadmap. You can cover step 3 and just do a live video of what to do, not how to do it. That's the secret of content, of really making this work and getting it to convert, is walking through what. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, being pretty meta. Like, hey, this is what we did. I haven't walked you through exactly how we did it. I've touched on some of it, right? Some of the how and how we made the videos. But again, this is still kind of what content. And it at least gives them the context. If you give them the how, you're actually disservicing them, because you're giving them the how for one step that they're going to go so deep down, when that step is not going to work unless they have all the other steps. So a lot of people feel kind of weird about making what versus how content. Giving away the how without context as to the whole system is actually going to do more harm than good. And so what content is the way to be able to educate your clients on the problems that they may not see that they have. And then, they can reach out to you and you can help them for implementing it and doing the how together. So that's kind of what you can do in the Facebook group, is lives covering that. You can interview your clients in the group just the same way you would on YouTube. You post those in your group. And then you can have 2-step posts. Hey, I'm thinking about making a course on X, Y, and Z. Who wants it? Or, hey, I'm putting together a free training on exactly how, Colton did X, Y, and Z last month. Do you want this? So some type of 2-step post where people say, yeah, I want it. Yeah, I want it. I want it. Boom. You have conversations started with people who have a certain problem that you can now begin to talk to, right? So it's a very nice way to do that. And then value posts, right? So just telling stories, creating value in the sense of, hey, if you're going on an appointment this weekend and you're not sure exactly what to present, make sure you do these 4 things, and then just provide some value, right, in that post. Some more what content, just in written form. All right. And then there's Instagram. So I have a whole training on what we're going to be doing with Instagram, but essentially, this is like your daily life. So this is your expertise and authority, right? This is getting to know somebody at a deeper level, spending time with them for you to give them insights and make them feel, wow, this person actually knows what they're talking about. And then part of this too, again, we should put in here, link to socials, right? So like link to your IG, etc. Get them on your Instagram and have them follow your daily stories. So, with Instagram, this is kind of just your daily life, posting throughout the day, what time you wake up, you read a book in the morning, what'd you eat for breakfast, like getting to personalize yourself behind the scenes, right? Think of this as an episode in your TV show. This is an episode, and this is behind the scenes of that episode, right? And also mini episodes, like little trailers, clips, mini episodes in your stories. And again, you can get reels. You can repurpose your content from here for your reels. You can get that repurposed. There's some ways to do that we can cover in future videos. Or what a lot of people are doing are 5 to 7 second reels with just some B-roll, a compelling hook on the video over like the overlay text, and then a call to action, right? So there's some people smashing it with these reels. They're getting so much reach, so many followers, and so much engagement because they walk through, really like some of the results. So I've made, people are posting, I don't know if you've seen a lot of these people doing like affiliate marketing and master resell rights on Instagram. It's really blowing up on there. And a lot of people are posting just about their results. I made $100,000 in the last 37 days, using this simple training, comment freebie, and I'll send you exactly how I did it, right? And it's a 5 to 7 second video. So for them to be able to read the caption and then, the overlay text, and then read the caption and get through the whole thing, because that's just the call to action, then you provide some value. So, all right, guys, here's the 4 steps I followed. Number 1, I used this software. Number 2, I made this offer. Number 3, I used this posting schedule. And it takes people, a couple times of the video looping to get through and read it. And then there's another call to action at the end. And so it's kind of like a CTA sandwich, if you will. You've got the video with overlay text, getting them to read the caption. The first part of the caption is a call to action. Then there's value, and then there's a call to action, right? And then so people, they comment, freebie or a free training, and then boom, ManyChat, auto DM, and then you can set up, flows and automations in ManyChat, so on and so forth, to be able to keep following up with and providing value to those people. All right. So that's a whole thing that we're going to be documenting and having you follow along as we create this. From there, and then there's TikTok, right? So TikTok, my plan on TikTok, we didn't really use it in the other company. My plan on TikTok is just to riff, just as I have a thought. Like, I have my product roadmap. I have my 9 steps. I know exactly what I help my clients with, what their problems are in those areas, what they want to accomplish out of those areas. And so once you have those things, kind of what their problems are and what the promises are, right? You can then have a content matrix of different videos you can create. So, for offers, the problem is people in traditional high ticket coaching, consulting businesses, they're starting over every month. So, you might do 100,000 in sales one month, but because you're selling high ticket only, you don't have recurring revenue built in. You feel like you're starting over every single month. So boom, that's a topic, right? And so I can just riff on that. So really, I plan on using TikTok just to riff and then link people back to my Instagram, because TikTok's reach is super, super far. I'm just getting started on it. So I don't have a lot of experience on it. So I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it's just part of my plan to grow my reach and then try to link people back to my Instagram, which then moves us to the reason that I am doing that is the sales activities. So to have good sales activities, it all starts with a solid offer. Okay. So you need to have a really, really good offer in place. And the way you can do that, I'm going to have future trainings going super deep on offers in terms of, how to structure those. Is it high ticket? Is it recurring? Is it a hybrid? How long is the offer? What are the deliverables? How do we know if it's a good offer? Like those types of things. But to give you a starting point, the first thing you want to do is find your perfect prospect. Okay. I call this the perfect prospect finder. So the first part is the person. So who is it that you're wanting to help? Now, we over here at Colton Fisher, don't really believe in niching down per se. And when I say niching down, people get so extreme with this. They say, hey, I help, course creators with less than 10,000 followers who, have been on Instagram for more than 5 years, and they just get so niched and so limited. We want to be problem focused, right? So I help creators grow a multiple 6-figure online coaching business, right? Or I help affiliate marketers go from, affiliate marketing to creating their own perfect process or product, right? So we want to be problem focused, be a little bit more broad into what the problem and we help solve is, and then what that promise is going to be, as opposed to super, super tight niche down specific. Okay. Now, when I say person, you need to think about who is the person that you're going to help. So the best way to think about this is like with what you do, think about yourself a couple years ago. Like all of this stuff that I'm coaching and training on with all of my clients are things that I was learning and figuring out and struggling with 4 years ago, 5 years ago when I first started doing this. And so think about yourself a year, 2 years ago, or even 3 to 6 months ago. Think of a problem you had. How did you figure out getting past that? What was the problem you solved for yourself? And that's your person, right? And so that's the type of person we're speaking directly to. We want to know that so we can speak directly to them and they can feel heard and understood. That's number one. Number two, what are you going to help them with, right? So what is your promise to the person you're going to help, right? I'm going to help you make $100,000 a month in less than 20 hours a week. I'm going to help you streamline your content and make 100 videos a month in less than an hour a day. Whatever the case may be, what is the promise, the outcome you're going to help them with? And from there, what are some of their problems, right? Why aren't they already making $100,000 a month? Why aren't they already making 100 videos a month? Well, they don't know how to create content. They don't know what topics to talk about. They don't know how to automate it all. They get overwhelmed and they don't have a clear roadmap on exactly what to do. So they get stressed out and then they just don't even start. Like, what are some of these problems, right? And then what is your process? How do you help them? And bonus points, if you can describe what their current process probably is and why it's not working, and contrast that with your process, right? People understand contrast, right? So like, think about this. I'm going to try and give you a prop. Cool. So if I came to you and I said, all right, so you need to pick one of these, okay? So I've got 2 green markers, pick the better one, pick the more colorful one. What do you think it's going to be? All right. Which one do you want? Right? Well, they both are the same. They're the same brand. They kind of look the same. The color's a little bit different, but they're too similar, right? They're too similar. As opposed to if I said, hey, pick the best tool that's going to allow you to write something out in nice detail. Boom. What are you going to pick? Well, this is a pen. You see, oh, that's a pen. You use a pen to write something out, right? So there's contrast. The brain understands contrast. So when you can contrast your process or your plan versus their current process and their current plan, they're going to get it. Okay. Doesn't need a lot of splaining. They're just going to get it. And so being able to do that is really going to help with the offer. Now, you need to have that dialed in before we go into selling. And then from there, to button up the offer is the delivery designer. And we're going to cover exactly what that is in delivery activities. But while you're crafting your offer, you also want to be able to craft your product. So this is where we talked about your product roadmap. What are the steps and the stages and the actions your clients need to take to be able to get the result? And then you kind of taking them through a systematic process for doing that. So designing your delivery and then also understanding, all right, well, do I want to work with people one-on-one? Do I want to do it in a group? Do I want a kind of combination? Do I want to do a personal onboarding with people? How many hours a week do I want to deliver? Do I want to do in-person events? So designing a delivery system that's going to help your client get the result in the most efficient way that you're also going to enjoy. The cool thing is there's no right way to do any of this. Right? Everything I've told you this whole video, there's no right way to do it. We need to begin with your vision and what you want to accomplish, and then back our way into it and design around your ideal day, your ideal week. We put constraints around that, right? Think about back when you were in school. If your teacher gave you 3 weeks to do a homework assignment, you're probably going to do it the night before week number 3. If she gave you, hey, this is due, tomorrow at 1 p.m., you're going to knock it out if it was the same exact amount of work. So those constraints allow us to have freedom within our life and business because we design that, right? So we'll go into future training on exactly how to design your delivery system and then automating systems and processes in your business. But let's just wrap this up by touching on the sales process. So we call this the hybrid sales process because you can really take this structure and apply it to direct messages. You can do voice direct messages. You can do sales right out of voice in Instagram. So like you can call people right out of Instagram, like in the DMs, and talk to them there. You can do it over the phone, do it over Zoom. In reverse selling, we did them all over Zoom. So I guess I can show you here just to see. So we've got our sales team's calendar. So like, we're having sales calls all day, every day in this business, and they're on Zoom. And we probably have a 30 to 35% on any given month closing rate over Zoom. The problem is though, a lot of people, because of the content they're coming to us from, a lot of them are early on in the process. So a lot of these calls that we do, we qualify people in the beginning, say, hey, dude, you just found us yesterday. Like, I'm not going to sell you something you don't know about. And we take them through a process to educate them, get them to spend more time in our content, in our process, before we then try to enroll them into the program, right? And there's some things you can do to speed that up and prevent that from happening in the first place. But essentially, you need to decide where you want to have these calls, okay? Now, for my business, I'm pretty much going to be doing these in the DMs and voice DM. I don't want to be chained to the desk, sitting down doing, 6-8 hours of sales calls all day. It works really well. If you want to build that type of business, we can share with you exactly how to do that. We do 250 to 300 sales calls a month scheduled over Zoom. And it works really well. But if you're going the one person business route, or you want a more nimble approach to your business and you don't want to be spending time bogged down on sales calls all day, trying to convince people to buy your stuff, then you can do it over DMs and just have your content do a lot of the heavy lifting, do a lot of qualifying in the DMs and actually pushing people away, which is reverse selling, which we'll talk about in future videos too. But essentially, here's the structure of a sales call or sales process in the DMs. And I've gone through literally every single sales training, like all of them. Jeremy Miner, Cole Gordon, Bill Walsh, one of my favorites, Jesse Elder, who's a mentor of mine, Travis Sago, Kevin Nation, Sam Oven, like all of them. We've gone through all the training, all the coaching, and they all boil down to some form of this. Now you're going to look at this and say, oh, so-and-so's is different than that. Well, yeah, they're all slightly different, but there's certain pillars of the conversation that you need to get out of. And so we're going to kind of cover that right now. And within each of these, obviously, we're not going to ask this question. We're going to have to go deeper and ask deeper questions and get more nuanced. But essentially, the structure, we start with, why are we here, right? So how can I help? What has you reaching out, right? So if they're in your DMs, what has you reaching out? How can I help you, right? Say, cool, love it, makes a lot of sense. Just so I have some context, kind of where are you at right now with your coaching business? Like, what do things look like right now, right? How many clients do you have? How much income have you done in the last 12 months? What did you make last month, right? So on and so forth. What are you doing right now to get clients? Those types of questions, getting a lay of the land, some context. Awesome, makes a lot of sense. Sounds like you're posting a lot on Instagram. You're making a couple YouTube videos a week and you're doing about 10, 15,000 a month in sales. Now, for you, where are you wanting to go? So like, that's kind of where we're at. Where are we headed, right? What's the big goal? Get them talking about that. Oh, I want to do, 50,000 a month consistently. Cool. Tell me about that. How did you come up with that number? Like 50,000, why not 75,000? Why not 30,000? Like get them to kind of justify their position to go even deeper on it. Cool. And I guess, what does that do for you, right? Like 50,000, it's a lot of money. Like, what do you plan on doing with all that money? Just really getting them to understand and talk about the bigger reasons behind why they're wanting to go where they're wanting to go, and then really starting to feel that. And so you've been doing this, you mentioned, for 6 months now, right? Doing about 10,000 a month. Really awesome. Why do you feel like you're not already at 50,000 a month? Like, what's kind of like getting in the way there, right? Oh, nothing real. Right. So you're going to hear all types of answers, right? Oh, nothing really. I think I just got to do this or that. And if they don't address the problem, that there's actual roadblocks, that's when we gently push them away. Like, awesome. Well, it sounds like you got it all figured out. So I don't know how much use I'm going to be, do you? What do you mean? Well, it sounds like from what you just said, you've got it figured out. You know exactly what you need to do. So yeah, I guess we're done here. Right. And you're just pulling that away. If they think they've got it all figured out, well, no, hold on. All right, well, then if you feel like you know what you're doing, I guess why haven't we been doing it? Right? Like, why haven't we been consistently posting? Why aren't we already running ads? Why don't we have systems in place to streamline the delivery? Like, starting to get them to justify and really question why they're not there. So that's kind of the next part, is why aren't you there? Again, most people are going to be honest and upfront, and like, I just don't know what I'm doing, right? Or like, I haven't done this before. I have no clear plan, no clear path to getting there. And so you're going to kind of talk about that a bit. And then this is kind of where you're qualifying for you. So we never want to make somebody an offer unless they're ready to do something. So a lot of people are going to reach out and say, "Oh, yeah, I just wanted some more info," right? Or I just wanted to know how much you charge. Well, that doesn't matter if you can't help them. Number one. Number two, it doesn't matter if they don't want to work with you. And number three, it doesn't matter if they don't want to work with you right now, right? So, so a lot of the times we get baited into, giving up all of our ammunition, all of our gunpowder. We fire the gunpowder and use it all before we're even in a position to hit a target. So we also want to understand, like, of all the coaches out there, and there's so many creators, and I've worked with dozens of coaches. I've gotten a lot of help from some really awesome people in the industry. I guess, like, what has you reaching out to me? Like, why me? How do you feel like I can help you? And get them to kind of talk about, oh, well, I don't really know. I just found you and this and that. Okay, well, then we'll address that. Or really getting them to sell themselves on, man, I've been following your content for a while. You're showing up consistently. I see the results that your clients are getting. And, I just really resonate with you. Honestly, guys, a lot of the times it's literally going to be for three things. Number one, they like you as a person because you're showing up, you're being yourself, you're being consistent. Number two, they see the results you're getting for your clients and they say, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. And then number three, they like your process. I love how you present things. The way you explain stuff, it just makes sense to me. Or it looks like you actually have a clear plan. Whereas a lot of these other people are talking about this and that, and it's all over. You have a clear plan, right? And so that's kind of the why me part. And then from there, why now? So, yep, totally makes sense. I guess kind of the last thing I'd like to better understand before we kind of get into everything is like, why now? Right? Like, what has you reaching out now as opposed to a couple months ago, or even waiting? It's the first of the year. Like, why not wait until February or March just to see how things go on your own? Like, why now? Right? Or another way to put that is, cool. So appreciate that. Makes a ton of sense. I thank you. We've worked really hard to make sure our clients get good results. I'm really glad you resonate with that. But I guess from here, like, just to understand your timing in your mind, is this a now sort of thing, or is this maybe a later sort of thing for you? Oh, right? Well, hold on. What do you mean? Well, I mean, it's January. I guess, we could have talked a couple months ago. We could have waited a couple more months to talk. So I'm be curious as to why you're reaching out now as opposed to earlier or later. Like, why now? And get them to kind of justify why they're in the position to want to make a change right now. Right? Well, based on what you were saying earlier, though, Bill, it sounds like things aren't bad. I mean, you're making 10 grand a month. A lot of people, work their tail off to make just half of that. And so I guess for you, is it an option to just kind of keep things how they are, though, and not make any changes? Right? And get them to justify why it's not an option to stay where they're at. That's a very, very powerful question to ask before you get into, presenting your product, your service, this and that. All right. From there, the presentation, very simple. Especially if you already have your product roadmap designed, you're literally taking them through the high notes of the product roadmap and linking it back to their goals and their problems, right? So awesome. All right. So the way we work, it's really three main steps. Really phase one of what we're going to be doing together is laying the foundation. So remember how you said earlier that, you're really struggling with not knowing who to talk to in your content, and you feel like you're attracting all of these random people, and you just want to get super clear on the exact person you're talking to. And even if you had three people reach out to you, they were the right people, you'd rather not waste time sifting and sorting through hundreds of people that aren't even your target, right? Well, the first thing we're going to do is really get clear on your perfect prospect so that we can have that clarity and make heart-striking content only talking to your perfect prospect. Does that make sense? Cool. The way we do that is boom, 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 and then take them through a little bit of your process. Awesome. Next phase is this. And you take them through each of those phases and you link it to their problem and their promise, right? This is the problem you said you had. This is what you said you wanted. Here's the gap and how this product fills that gap. Boom. And that's how you explain it. Right. And so you'll do that through your presentation. And then because that's getting them to buy into your process, and then you touch on the logistics. Cool. All that makes sense. Awesome. Now, do you feel like that could help you, or is that like way out of left field? Like you think we're crazy? There's no chance we can help you. Oh my gosh, no, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Get them to tell you why, right? So just out of curiosity for you, like what's the main thing that I kind of walked you through that you're like, oh, like, that's what I need. Like that's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm just curious if there's like a key to the castle for you or anything, right? And just get them to justify like what exactly they think is going to help them to really solve this problem. And then from there, I'd be like, cool, awesome. Just logistically, the way it's going to work is what we're going to do is get you set up. So we're going to get you onboarded, fill out an onboarding form. We're going to have our kickoff call, 60-minute one-on-one. Then from there, you're going to start going through our content. So we have this whole roadmap laid out for you. So you're going to start doing some work on your end, going through some content. We've got the weekly calls where we're going to really tinker and adjust this for you. And then we're going to have our check-in calls every couple of weeks just to make sure you're on track, you're getting results to what you want to have. Right. And then, awesome. So to get started, it's going to be, X, Y, and Z. So you cover the price at the end of your presentation and then get them to commit. Right. So cool. Next steps are this. And here's how we get started and just walk them through it. So yep, that is essentially the sales process. This looks a little bit different in DMs. It doesn't go fully here. We'll maybe have another video on how to do it through the DMs, but it's pretty similar. You can take this and make it work in the DMs for sure. All right. So that is part 1 of this training, 4 pillars of 100K per month creator business. Let me know what you thought about this. Any questions you have, leave them in the comments below. And I will see you for part 2. Thank you so much.